The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, all right. Well, I like that, the new intro. Hopefully everybody likes it. So anyway, welcome to Coffee Time with Blind United. Of course, I'm Ed, and I got Brittany with me this morning. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning.
And I got my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
All right. So, man, it feels good to be back here after dealing with several days of no power last week.
Oh, wow.
But,
Yeah. Do we have an interest group first, and then we could get into that conversation?
no, there's no interest group today.
Okay. Just double checking. I've been in my own little world, guys. Sorry.
No, interest group today. So, but yeah, again, Edison, doing what they do. They sat there and waited on the power lines to blow down, and then they shut me down, and then they had to wait on the winds to die down to go fix the power line that fell down. So basically, I was out of power for 2.5 days or something like that.
So, 2.5 days. Wow. You was back in the Stone Ages, huh?
Yeah, I mean, terrible thing. Went to bed Tuesday night. Trump was president. Woke up Wednesday morning, and I didn't have no power.
Damn, so it hit home. You thought World War III happened or what?
Man, I thought the end of the world was coming.
Oh, my God. The news right now is crazy what's happening. But that aside, so not having your power, like, for a few days, I would think like your food items and other essential things, like for the elderly, man, must have been hard, right?
Well, I mean, on one sense, I wear a CPAP machine, so no, I wasn't able to use that. So my nights were not very, restful. Plus, for those that don't know, I'm old school, and I still have a waterbed. And with no power, the heater went off too. So every night my bed was a little colder and a little colder and a little colder. So,
oh, wow.
But as far as my food and stuff concerned, it was amazing to me, man. 2.5 days later, and I still had ice in the ice bucket. So, I mean, I guess I got a good refrigerator. Plus, I, kept telling everybody, man, don't be opening up that refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, you know what you want, open it, grab what you want, close it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be sitting there, what can I make to eat? Let me see. You know what I'm saying?
And slowly picking out items, all the couriers rushing out.
Yeah, so. But it was cool. I mean, the hardest part was, man, it's sad. We, living here. I mean, so we were right at the very edge of, I guess I want to call it the grid that lost power. And a block below me to the south, they had power. But from going north of me up into the mountain, they all lost power, right? So anyway, we're using my daughter's car. We run out there and charge our phones up and stuff like that. So one day, everybody needed to charge their phone at one time, right? So we all jumped in the cars. All right, well, we're going to run down to Starbucks or, whatever. We went to Starbucks. Man, Starbucks has put a plate over the utility outlets, okay? They are not letting people use power there no more. You know what I'm saying? So then we went over to McDonald's. They did the same thing.
What?
Yeah.
What's the reasoning? They didn't want people just hanging out?
Well, I think it has to do with the homeless thing. They just coming through, especially like Starbucks. You know how they have the power outside on the tables and stuff like that. People are
Hmm.
not necessarily coming in and patronizing the business. They just plugging into the power, and charging up their devices and stuff.
Well, they should have a switch. Whoever purchased something, they go sit at a table, hit that switch, and let those outlets be on.
Right, right, right. If you don't make the purchase, then boom, you don't get no power. I agree.
Because I used to sometimes go to Starbucks, man, and get my computer and hit one of them tables, get my coffee, and just sit there for a few hours, do what I need to do. My sister, when she wanted to get some work in, and she was like, I'm going to Starbucks and sit there for a few hours and work on my paper. And there's a lot of students that do that, even for work. A lot of workers that will
Exactly.
like to go, and even for myself as a content creator, sometimes I want to sit somewhere where I could just have the ambient noise and not necessarily just be all in guess in the box is what we call it, and no one's around. Sometimes you want to do your work, but you want to hear other people. You want to, you know, and just have that interaction of just listening and hearing things.
Right. Plus, I mean, nice days and stuff. You get to sit out there on their little patio, sip on your whatever your preferred Starbucks drink is, and do
Yeah.
what you do with your devices. So, but no, they cut it out, man. I mean, we drove around for a while, and finally, you know what?
Dang.
I was the only one getting any power because while they were driving around trying to find somewhere to get power, I had all my stuff plugged in.
Oh, wow, wow. But oh wow. So you think that deters from people staying there and just chilling there trying to work, and because I would hit there. Let's say I will hit like a Starbucks. I will hit it like I will get a coffee, right? Then later on I get a little hungry. I go get me like the little a croissant. They have an egg and bacon. They also have egg white one and
Right.
stuff like that. So I will get something like that, go back to my table, continue doing what I need to do, and they roll out. But you think because of that, people's they don't come out and hang out. Maybe they lost some money in that transactions. You think doing
I
that?
mean, I would believe that they did because again, where you're trying to stop the people that are, not necessarily patronizing the business,
Mm-hmm.
but the people that do patronize your business for that reason, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you're losing them,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Because Starbucks was like one of the famous shops you could go. McDonald's didn't have the outlets like that, and Jack didn't, and all these other ones. Starbucks was one of the first ones that gave you the free Wi-Fi. Also,
Right, right,
McDonald's and
right.
that. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. So I mean, something like you said, they were kind of like the catalyst to some of the other, per se fast foods or whatever. They started doing it to. I mean, again, McDonald's. You could have went up in there and got us some egg McMuffins and whatnot, and you know what I'm saying. Sat there and plugged our stuff in and ate and charged while we were sitting there. But again, they cut all that stuff out, man. So that's sad.
Right.
It's really, really sad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the really sad part is, right? They don't do that in every area.
No, you're right. You're right about that. And since we're on talking about Starbucks, right? Let me tell you what I've been seeing around. There's these claims that you never see none of the movie stars like Will Smith or all these movie stars in LA stuck in traffic because there are secret tunnels and they got Starbucks down there. This is what a Starbucks worker said. He said he could talk now because he doesn't have an aid, the to keep quiet, one of them contracts. It's already past the date.
I do not
According
disclose thing.
yeah, that. So that's what I seen. I don't say I believe it or not. I'm just bringing it down to the show. It's kind of crazy. You laughed at. Give me your opinion on that.
I mean, okay, so where do you enter this tunnel? In Calabasas where Will lives, you know what I'm saying? It's just a tunnel going straight to the local Starbucks so he can drive through, pick up his stuff, and go back home, or what? Or they got a
No,
patio
it's
down there?
it's it's several tunnels, and they got entries like to the LAX, to the going towards the Forum. So they look like regular, like let's say a business or like a building would look. You go in the driveway or something like that. I'm assuming this is me trying to piece this thing together, and it would look so normal, and you just go underground like it was an underground parking, and you're off. And they got Starbucks, they got entries to go everywhere
Mm.
else. Do you think there's some credence to that?
I mean, for Starbucks, I don't see no credence to it. I mean, if you're on the flip side of that, I do know that LAX, Ontario, a lot of these major airports like that, they do have their own private terminal when they're flying on private jets. Now, I mean, if they're flying a commercial, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean that don't mean that they can't go into a private lounge, right?
Yeah.
When you're famous, but I mean, again, if you're going on a private flight, then they do have their own terminal.
Yeah, but it's not only Starbucks. I'm just saying that when we were speaking about Starbucks, it reminded me of that. So I was like, oh, let me, But another thing that was the claim is that they don't pay for their stuff.
Okay, so you trying to say the state of California or whatever city county is paying for it?
I can't go into specifics. I don't know. I'm just saying what the claim was. Britt,
Right.
any opinions on this?
I that sounds a little far fetched. I mean, I have heard the whole there's underground tunnels under Los Angeles, but I don't know about all this stuff with the stars being able to have access to them. Maybe who knows what the rich has access to, but them not paying for their Starbucks, well then who pays for it? And my whole thing is if I'm a millionaire, right? If I'm Will Smith, if I'm Oprah, like I could have a damn Starbucks in my house. Like what I need to like go in a tunnel for, right? I
Right.
mean, these people
Uh-huh.
are like millionaires, billionaires.
Yeah, so they don't want to wait in line because they're what?
Okay, but
Billionaires.
again, they don't, like Brittany was saying. Why do they even have to go to Starbucks? They can have, what do they call them? A Batista? What is it?
A
Coffee people?
barista. I mean, if
Uh,
if I'm puffy, I'm kidnapping a barista.
I mean,
But
you
that's at
can.
your house, though. That's only at your house. What about you're traveling and you're in New York and you live in LA and your barista's in LA?
Okay, so now because I'm Will Smith, Oprah, or somebody like that, now I get a secret app on my phone that tells me where all of these hidden tunnels are to get to Starbucks or whatever.
I don't know, man. I'm not in that class to answer those questions. I'm just
Right,
telling
but
you.
again, these are just things that's
Mm-hmm.
come up,
Well,
like you said,
okay. When they go to the Emmys and they get all these bags and all these little stuff, all these goodies,
swag
yeah.
bags.
You think those are free or they pay for those?
I wouldn't know. It's all donated. Promotional stuff is
It's
all
what?
But
donated.
they're
No, no, no. Don't
influencers
say
though.
it's been donated. It's free.
Right. Well, I
No,
mean,
but they're
again,
but they're influencers. Okay, like let's just say I have a company, right? And I'm like, ooh, I want Jennifer Lopez to use my shampoo or my jeans or my
Mm-hmm.
bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give her a free one and she's going to advertise for me. You know what I mean? It's just like Oprah's favorite thing list. You know that people buy stuff off of that list. I mean, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? So it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense for me to be like, you know what, I'm gonna just spend a couple $1,000s or whatever to give these stars free stuff and they're free advertisement. Well, not free advertisement, but advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Okay.
what swag bags are. I mean, swag is stuff we all get. Okay, that's what swag stands for, right? So all of them at the to go to the
I'm gonna
Emmys,
do some
Oscars,
research and I will bring back that. I want to see what's in these swag bags.
well, again, it's whatever people want to. I mean, sometimes it's jewelry, man. I mean, Rolex has
Mm-hmm.
dropped
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
watches in them bags.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, different
Mm-hmm.
designers and whatever, they've dropped, gift cards or whatever to come to their store and pick out what you want, kind of thing, whatever. They get brand new iPhones and stuff when they come out. All that kind of stuff, man. They want the stars to be seen with their stuff. Just like all them females and even the men, don't get me wrong.
So now that makes a point. Okay.
So
when
all
they go
these
get
females,
Starbucks,
but all of these females and all of these men, whatever, when they walk that red carpet, man, they wearing designer clothes. They ain't bought them clothes. Them designers say, look, come over here. We'll outfit you. And boom, you walking down the aisle. Oh, you wearing a Judy Chu or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You're wearing a Hugo Boss tuxedo, whatever the case may be. They get recognition because millions and millions and millions of people are watching you walk that red carpet with their clothes on.
Okay. So why wouldn't it be with them holding a Starbucks cup in their hand?
How we gonna see them with a Starbucks cup in their hand if they in a secret tunnel?
Hey, they can step out the tunnel. It's not all here direct. It's not like, oh, I got a direct tunnel to my house. Hey, you never know. That's another rabbit hole right there. But I'm saying they probably have entrances to go places as shortcuts.
You'd get more viral activity if Will Smith was sitting at one of the tables on the patio at Starbucks than you would sneaking in through some tunnel underground.
Yeah, what about they don't want to be seen all the time? Sometimes
Okay,
they do make
they're
those
not going to be
appearances.
seen, but then they're not going to be seen with a Starbucks cup in their hand.
All right. The tunnels don't exist. I was trying to convince Ed. Hey, one day we see if there's a report one day. It's some crazy stuff people don't talk about.
I hear you. Well, again, I mean, are there tunnels all under LA? Yeah, we got a new subway, so there's tunnels everywhere, right? And there's a lot of maintenance tunnels attached to that, right? But I mean, like downtown LA, you little young folks, y'all don't remember, but LA used to have streetcars. Okay,
the trolleys, right?
Yeah, they were streetcars. They had what we were calling Blue Line. Way back in the day, they called that the Red Line. And it went from downtown all the way to Long Beach, just like the Blue Line does now, right? But they were more streetcars, right? And all of those cars were stored underground downtown LA. They got big warehouses, down underneath some of them buildings where all that stuff was stored. And it's still down there. They
had a lot of those around.
They were everywhere.
Yeah, but I guess with the new system they wanted to put in, they didn't want to use those. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they kind of faded away once we started using buses. See, we didn't have buses back then. You know what I'm saying? LA was all streetcars, California, think about it, they were all streetcars. Look at how many are still up in San Francisco. They kept them for tourists and historical reasons. LA, they did away with them.
I know. They should have kept it for that would have been dope. Like, damn, look at that trolley. You're in South Central. Look at that little trolley.
Matter of fact, let's go here, Pedro. You know when we're in Claremont, right? And we walk through the Metrolink station going towards the village.
Yeah.
Okay, when we cross the street right there, that island right there, those used to be trolley tracks, dog. That's where the trolley tracks used to be, right there where that island is.
Man, they could have fixed it, make it look dope, make it look classy, and you know what I mean? They could have modernized that and make it into a 20th century or 21st. Man, it would have been looking dope.
Monica said good morning and that somebody had too much broccoli this morning.
Hey, Monica.
Good morning, Monica. But no, I mean, again,
I was in my TikTok. That's what happened. I was in my TikTok.
Okay, blame it on the rain. But yeah, I mean, again, it's things change. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with modern technology, it is a lot easier to create certain tunnels and stuff like that now. But I mean, as far as a bunch of secret tunnels for the rich folks, Well, let me go here. If secret tunnel here, you're gonna like this one. If secret tunnels are a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why was Kobe flying from his house to the Staples Center?
Hey, like a boss.
He could have just went down in this some secret tunnel and made a way straight to the Staples
That
Center.
is true because they do talk about like Kim Kardashian using her helicopter to go to the cities, like from her house to the airport, back and forth. You know what I mean?
All of them do. All of them that have them anyway.
Man, they're polluting big time with these private jets.
Well, no, actually, I mean, well, helicopters, because that's
No, they got private jets. Like
Well, I
Elon
mean,
Musk,
yeah, as
he
far
flies
as
everywhere in his private jet.
right, but when they're
He
when they're
uh
moving
huh.
around in the city, they're using
Mm-hmm.
helicopters.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, yeah.
And also something else, just maybe a little bit of my mechanical experience or whatever you want to call it, right? Those engines burn cleaner. They don't burn dirty. You understand what I'm saying? They're not putting out the
The
same.
helicopters or the jet?
Both. It's a whole different fuel, aircraft fuel. All of that's a much higher octane, and it burns a lot cleaner.
Hmm. I thought it would have pollute more. I didn't say that they're like the car engines because I know they're jet engines. You know what I mean?
No, but see, again, they using jet fuel, which is a whole nother type of fuel that has a lot. So octane is basically the oxygen in the fuel,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when it gets the spark or the ignition, the higher the oxygen level, the cleaner it burns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so yeah, but all those I mean, yeah, you would think that oh, well, they adding to the pollution or whatever. No, they really they burn a lot cleaner.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, but they still fuel emissions, right? They still
right,
throw
right.
out
There's still
emissions.
some emissions, but nowhere near the level that you know. I mean, have you ever seen smoke coming out of a jet when he takes off?
Nope.
Okay, but you see smoke coming out of a train when it takes off.
Mm,
You see smoke coming out of a diesel truck when it takes off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you don't see those on the newer cars either, though.
But we ain't talking about cars. We're talking about trucks.
Okay.
Okay, we're talking about trains.
All right. We need better infusion of better efficient trains. That's what we need.
Well, I mean, we are because even though we like when we're standing there and the Metrolink or whoever pulled up, well, there's even a freight train, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear that big old diesel motor,
Yeah.
Pedro, that motor is not necessarily putting horsepower to the train. That motor is actually a generator because that train is technically electric.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Okay. 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 Damn, I forgot about the electric part. But yeah. So they need that big of a generator to move it.
That's a lot of weight, dog.
Yeah, of course. I know. I know. I know. But
And
so they
I
burning
mean,
clean. So they burning clean. But they
okay, but the
still emit.
diesel motor itself is a big
Mm-hmm.
polluter
All right. All right. Oh
because
yeah. The diesels.
because
Yeah.
diesel engines do not have spark plugs. Diesel fuel is more oil based.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different, refinery thing. When you look at refineries and you see them big tall towers and so on and so forth, at different levels, different types of fuel come out. And
Mm-hmm.
down around the bottom is the oil based stuff, which is the diesel fuel. It's got a lot of oil in it because it has to lubricate the combustion chamber.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. I got you.
Okay.
All right.
You
This has
know.
been a lesson of motors and fuel. All right. All right.
Like the gas you buy at the gas pump right now.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, I think the best you're going to get right now, I think, is what they call 80%, 86% octane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the stuff that the guys use at the racetrack, drag racing or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Like NASCAR and all that.
Well, not even NASCAR, just regular. Let's go here, street racers, right?
Okay.
The guys that have serious street racing cars. The minimum octane them cars need to run is 110 octane.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
the more power your car is capable of producing, the higher octane you need. I mean, the guys that I used to run with, we used to use like 120, 125. That stuff back then where the gas was $2, $3 a gallon then, that 120, 125 is like $10 a gallon back then.
Okay. You're on that serious stuff. Let's put the pedal to the metal. All right.
Now your funny cars, what they call top fuel cars, Pedro, they don't even burn gas. They burn a mixture of nitroglycerin and alcohol. That's some crazy stuff right there.
Yeah, that is some crazy stuff. That is some crazy stuff.
Okay, but they running 300 miles an hour in a quarter mile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true. They be on. They be on. They be
you
on.
know. So yeah, combustion
Uh,
engines are, they're amazing, but sad to say, as far as in everyday use,
mhm.
especially, they're falling to the wayside.
Yeah, because even with the trains, even with this plan that they have for this bullet train to go from Vegas to over here, it's a whole type of other type of system. It's more refined. It's an electric. So there it's moving to better our technology is moving for the better. Our
That
Yeah.
damn
computer is
train
getting
is messing up the traffic.
they need to update that.
Well, how about they build one of those secret tunnels for that train?
Hey, the secret tunnels does not help the speed, Ed. It just
But
hides it.
it'll help the traffic because it won't be blocking the streets.
Hey, no, we need a faster train.
Well, again, they can do it underground.
They can. That requires more technology to do all that work.
Okay, what technology? The same technology they built the metro with.
Yeah, but then why they didn't build all the metros underground?
Because it just wasn't feasible. They
Yeah,
had,
that's yeah.
you know, I mean, again, I agree. Why does, I mean, what is it? I think it's the A line now. I mean, the blue line is now, I think, the A line. I think is what it is. But, I mean, why is part of it running right down the middle of Long Beach Boulevard? Man, that's some dangerous stuff. You got the train running right on the street with the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's probably a little fenced in or something. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
not, dog. The only way it's fenced in at is where the station is, where the pedestrians get on and off.
Yeah, yeah.
Everywhere else, it's running right down the middle of the street.
Whoever runs into it, I feel bad for them.
Oh, well, there's a few of them that's done
It's a
tried
lot
it.
of power. It's a lot of power moving, man. It's a lot of power moving.
Now, I will say this: the metro trains are all electric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are all electric.
So they're not
Yeah, but they
messing up
keep
no fuel.
expanding, which I think that is pretty dope that they keep expanding, that they keep adding. There's more access to get around in the city, you know. Um, we
Well,
have
they're just trying to eliminate the congestion.
mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't know if you heard about it, but I think it was about a year ago, if at least a year ago, maybe two. Uh, they talking about putting what they call a congestion fee for being in downtown LA during certain hours of the day, during business hours, from like
Mm-hmm.
7 to 6, 7 to 7,
What?
something like that. Yeah, like fast track when you're on the freeway, whatever.
Yeah.
You got to have one of those passes to be in downtown. Otherwise, you're gonna get hit with a big fee.
Is that from a city or a corporation? Because I thought the fast lanes was like they were letting corporations build these, so And that's why there's a toll fee to them.
So there's some highways in Orange County that were privately built, and Fast Track has to do with those. But like the one on the 91 freeway, that's publicly owned. The one on the 10 freeway is publicly owned. Okay. So but to be up in there, you have to have what the little box in your car, in your vehicle, right?
Yeah.
You know, so that it catches a signal when you go on it. Okay, he's cool. Oh, boom, catch a picture, boom, got that license plate. They send you a ticket because you ain't supposed to be there.
Yeah. They're like, you know what? If you got money to pay this toll fee, go ahead and use it the whole month. You know, the more money you have, the more access you get. You know, I thought it was about let's alleviate the traffic. Let's build something. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's just, you know, if you pay this money, you know, like I said, I don't know what a month worth of that is, but because I don't drive no more, right? But again, you know, if you use it, I mean, originally it was the first one in California was on the 10 freeway coming from Santa Monica, and we used to call it the Diamond Lane. Okay. And in those diamonds, in certain areas, it would have a number. Certain areas you had to have at least 2 people in the car. Other areas you had to have 3 people in the car. Okay, so but that was the original thing, to alleviate traffic. You know, trying to get people to carpool. Now they're using it as a way to raise revenue.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And some ethics stuff was on the ballot also, right? Oh, I remember reading they was trying to put some ethics guidelines on like the LA Council and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, LA City Council, they've been doing what a lot of other political parties have been doing, what they call gerrymandering, and that was fixing their district where, you know, they were, you know, had blocks of votes that, you know, that again they didn't deserve. You know, it was unfair, right? So they were redoing all that stuff, trying to, you know, redraw all of their districts. That way everything was fair. I mean, you know, because also, how can I go here? Minorities often get left out of gerrymandering calculations. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, where like back in, even with coming up on this past election, I mean, certain states and certain counties, they were doing things where there could have been another congressional seat there, but they blocked it out because that particular area that they were gerrymandering was predominantly minority. And they knew that if they gave them a block, then they would, elect a minority. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You know, it's all about unfair elections is what it really comes down to.
Yeah. Plus, they were saying they got to be transparent on their budget. But in that point, folks, we're going to cut to a quick break and we will be back.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. You can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, Custom Cane has it.
All right. Well, I guess we're done for a minute. Yeah, again, Jimmy, I love Custom Cane. As those that know me know, I do not own a white cane with a red tip. I actually have 5 custom canes hanging on my wall right now. And when I walk out the door, okay, which one I want to grab today? I want my eyeball cane. I want my blindy nighty cane. You know what? I'm going to get going out to lunch or dinner or whatever. Let me grab this solid gold cane, right? Whatever. It just whatever day, whatever mood I'm feeling that day. That's what cane I grab. So again, if you can think of a cane you want, whether you want rhinestones, whatever, it doesn't matter. Jimmy can hook you up. CustomCane.com, custom with a K. What we got next, my brother?
We're gonna get into some Windows, the latest updates on Windows accessibility. So let's hear that article, guys. Let's get into it.
Let's dive into the latest updates on Windows accessibility features, which are making a difference for users with low vision and hearing impairments. Microsoft has introduced live captions and enhanced narrator capabilities designed to bring real-time captions to any audio source on the system. These features are a part of Microsoft's broader integration of accessibility tools, helping users customize Windows to their specific needs. One of the highlights is Windows Copilot, a tool that assists users in tailoring their system settings with ease, creating a more accessible experience for everyone. Alongside this, the Accessibility Assistant in Microsoft 365, available in apps like Word and Outlook, provides live recommendations to help ensure documents are accessible for all users. Whether it's checking for alternative text on images or adjusting font size for readability, these updates make creating and navigating digital content more inclusive. What are your thoughts on these new additions from Windows? Do you think they're addressing key accessibility needs, or is there more Microsoft could be doing? Now back to the coffee time crew.
Well, okay. I mean, for me, since I started playing with computers, and I say playing because first time I was on a computer, my daughter had that Sims game, so I was on there playing The Sims and stuff like that. But anyway, I mean, they've always had accessibility features. I mean, I guess that's one thing I like about Windows. It seems like they have always kept us in mind, but could they be doing more? Yes, I do. I really think they could. So yeah, but I mean, they doing a lot more, and then with this new stuff, like you say, Copilot and all that stuff coming in, the AI stuff, that just takes accessibility to another level, in my opinion, anyway. So I don't know, Pedro, you the expert, dog.
Um, well, Jaws, Freedom Scientific has been taking it to a new level with Windows. Windows, um, if you wanted to use narrator, oh man, the narrator voice, the functionality wasn't there, the shortcuts wasn't there, like how now they're putting emphasis on it. And then the NVDA was an alternative for JAWS, even better than narrator. But Windows itself, Microsoft itself, slowly is moving that way. I heard that their latest console system has a screen reader also, just like the PlayStation 5 does. So uh, I see it, but I believe now they're making a strive. You know what I mean? I think Apple's Mac um, um, beats narrator. Okay, now standing up to Jaws, Mac, the voiceover has its draws back. That something that Jaws, there's features that Jaws has that've been added this year that Mac is not gonna get on voiceover. You know, it's either you're gonna have the newest and latest Mac with the latest chips, and you get the AI type of stuff that you could probably have it describe an image to you when you do a shortcut like you do with JAWS, and that insert spacebar P and then W to scan your window, and it could give you a description. I don't think we're gonna get that. And Charles brought that to Windows without having you to update a chipset, your device. Now with
Right.
Copilot being in your computer, you need one of these new computers, the new Surface Pro and the new computers coming out with the MUPU chip, or I forgot what's it called, but it's like a newer chip that that these newer iPhones and stuff have, right? To run this AI. But in accessibility, yes, that might give narrator a boost because it's going to be powered by that Copilot. And let's say you wanted to turn on a feature, or you wanted to look at what the screen is, or you wanted to tell it to make you an email and send it out, you might be able to do that. But that's because they're bringing Copilot to everybody, but it just having control that, we're going to be able to take advantage. But the true heroes that I believe that has kind of moved the game forward is Jaws with that picture smart thing. You could go shopping. You don't need somebody, hey, come look at this picture of this clothing. You could just highlight that picture, scan it, get a detailed image of it, prompt the AI how you want. AI for beginners every first Wednesday and third Wednesday of the month, guys, if you want to know about prompting and other stuff like that. But you could go on and ask it a question about that outfit, about the color tone, about how the buttons look, or what color, stuff like that, or what color is the collar and stuff. You know what I mean? And the shopping is now it just becomes like, you're shopping, you're doing it all yourself in a different way. You're not using your eyes, but you have that access that you don't need a pair of eyes. You don't need somebody's side. Hey, you think this look good? You could continue prompting the AI and asking it questions to get your results and see if you want it or not.
Well, yeah, but we also want to give Microsoft credit for some of the other stuff they're doing. What's that? Open. What I want. I know the one thing. Soundscape, which is now Voice Vista. All of that stuff that's for us. That's all
Oh,
Microsoft.
Windows.
Right, but it's Microsoft. My point being, so just because it's Soundscape or whatever, you
Hmm.
don't think any of that technology is crossing over into the Windows? I mean, it's still I think they're using it kind of like a testing ground. What was the other one? It's not the other one that came out around the same time. What came out just before Envision? What was that other one? Uh, 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 uh,
Seeing AI.
Seeing AI, right? That's
Hmm.
Microsoft. Again,
Yeah.
they were testing these models right there,
Hmm.
But my point being, I want to give them credit for accessibility because they're thinking of those kind of things as well.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
at that point, yes, if you're talking over range devices and applications, but specifically in Windows system, that's what I was speaking of. But yeah, they do have these apps. And would you think, since they have these apps, they would have been incorporating some of this instead of buying OpenAI's AI and starting using that as Copilot?
well, and then let me do a little crossover thing for you, right quick. We was talking about the engines a little earlier, right? Motors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Auto manufacturers, all of them, Chevy, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota, all of them, right? They use motorsports as a testing ground to get more horsepower out of those engines. So now
Mm-hmm.
they can take and use a smaller engine with more horsepower that's going to burn less fuel. And all of that information came from motorsport. So that's why I brought that correlation in. Yes, Microsoft, they did these other apps, right, that we're using on our phones, but they're using that as a testing ground for things that they can now apply to their
Mm-hmm.
Windows operating system.
Yeah, yeah. I see your point. I see your point. Right. But where are the features from the application at in Windows right now in Narrator for us to take advantage of? Is my question. Yeah, it's a testing ground, and I'm glad they put those tools because I do use Seeing AI and Soundscape. I'm just saying, like, yes, there's testing grounds. They must have been doing their engine, but I guess when they purchased the OpenAI chap, you know what I mean? I guess because Chap have more experience, they've been building their thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now they're integrating those features into Windows, and it's gonna make it more accessible. It's gonna be integrated with Narrator, I believe so. Also, so it's coming. It's just I see about you what you're saying about the testing grounds and all that, but you know
I mean, I just
how
think
long
that
Jaws been out? How long Jaws been out?
I'm being honest. I don't know. When I first started using JAWS, I think I was on, maybe 8 or 9, maybe 7. And now here we are. I just
I want to say
downloaded
the early
25.
90s, maybe for Jaws.
Early
Yeah.
'90s and or
Yeah.
late '90s, right?
Well, even back
No,
then, like I'm
because they
saying,
had before it was Jaws for Windows, it was Jaws for DOS, I believe. So yeah.
Oh, Jaws for dang that. Hey, that rhymes too.
but
Uh,
again, even then, damn, I thought my train of thought. It was a very early stages of it. And like if you had Jaws 7, or just you throwing a number out there, right? That might be good for 2-3 years. They only in the last 5-6 years they went to where they're now updating every year. So now that's why they went to the year. So right now I got Jaws 2025
yeah.
just came out. So now they upgrade every year. So
Well, the technology is moving faster every year now.
right.
But even
I'm
then, Jaws was making an effort in making this Windows accessible to a blind person. But the point I'm making is that yes, Microsoft has done these apps, but look, on their Windows system, they've been taking their sweet time. It was Jaws. Look, who uses Jaws more than Narrator? The blind
Well,
people
I
use
mean,
Jaws
right,
more.
right. The blind people use JAWS a lot more. I can see maybe one day, in the not too far distant future, that,
Mm-hmm.
maybe JAWS might become obsolete. But right now, JAWS is doing everything they can to,
Mm-hmm.
to be relevant, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you go back in Freedom Scientific, which is the creators of JAWS, if you go back in their history, not even 10 years ago, Pedro, they were owned by Microsoft before they went to Despero. Okay. You think Microsoft wasn't tapping in and trying to get all the information they could out of JAWS while they had it? And now they're just trying to refine it to make it work within their system?
Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess. All right. All right. Now I could be the devil's advocate on this. All right. If they took some stuff from Jaws, right?
Okay.
Right. Why they're not exceeding Jaws in the features or in the navigational space, right?
Well, to use your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
JAWS is basically an overlay.
Yeah.
Okay. Windows is an operating system.
Okay.
So it's trying to integrate something from an overlay, which is totally separate from the operating system. So you're trying to take elements from that overlay and integrate them into your operating system. I
Okay.
mean, I
Well,
just don't think that would be all that easy. I mean, I ain't no computer
well,
scientist,
okay.
whatever, but
Let me say something else. Well, they have Narrator for how many years?
they
And
read
it's
it.
built within their operating system. It's not an overlay.
Right, right. But again, they haven't perfected it. They haven't perfected it. Narrator hasn't even been around 10 years. I don't think it's been around 10 years.
No, narrator's been around since the early 2000s, and I know that because I've used it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, when I went, I know. Well, yeah. Okay. So it's been around more than 10 years because it was around when I went to training center. But again, it was just so clunky. You know what I'm saying?
But if
Nobody
Sparrow
wanted to
was owned
use
by
it.
Microsoft, and that's their little playground, and they could pull from it.
I'll go here. Narrator has gotten a lot better
Yeah,
now.
it has.
Well, I'm saying they've gotten a lot better since the period of time when they owned Freedom. Now they only owned it for maybe 2-3 years, and then they sold it off, right, to the Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So basically, I think they went in there and got what they needed. They got, and then they sold it off. Right. And now they're just concentrating on trying to improve the narrator. Right. I mean, look at all the voices you can get on narrator now. You know what I'm saying? Well, right. Okay. What does Freedom do? Freedom has Jaws. They got a whole list of voices you can get now as well. I mean, I was listening to Andy the other night, and he went in there for when he was doing his group last week, right? And I think there's something like 28 different voices now.
Yeah, that's a lot. Dialects and all.
Yeah, within Jaws. Where it used to be, the only thing you can get was eloquence. Eloquence, that was it. If you didn't want eloquence, you was out. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have no choice.
Yeah, and I believe that. Well, in my opinion, I see that Microsoft is betting on Copilot not to continue working on our narrator because they're gonna have Copilot running the system in the system, right? So when you want to say, "Hey, go to this application," it's gonna do it all. You might not even have to navigate too much with narrator, little by little, or it could be incorporated the AI with the narrator, and they don't have to refine anything no more and spend money and finding out and programming and resources, I guess. But if you have the information from the Sparrow when you had that, when you had that Inquisition, when you had that company, wouldn't you have everything to start moving on it? But let's see, because it is coming. AI is making a lot of things gonna be accessible, voice activated, voice driven.
That part
things
right
like
there.
that.
I mean, in the future, it's going to be. I refer things back to different movies, right? When I see them in the movies, I don't know. You guys ever see that movie with Jamie Foxx? It was called Bait. I guess not. Well, anyway, there was this guy that robbed some U.S. Treasury thing, right, for a bunch of gold or whatever. But he was this, mastermind kind of guy. He didn't have a keyboard. He talked to his computer. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing the future becoming to where we no longer interact with a keyboard. Well, now is everything's gonna be voice activated. Okay, go here, do this. Give me the overnight emails.
One question, Ed. On the movie, did he have a keyboard on his computer?
No.
Okay.
No, he did not have a computer. I mean, a keyboard.
Okay, but see, I see what you're saying. But to be something like that, if you could do your own AI and all that, I could see it. You're doing something like that. But yeah, the voice activating and talking to your device is gonna happen. It's gonna be all like that. That's what Siri is gonna be. That's what these Meta glasses are gonna be. That's everything that's gonna be on you. You know what I mean? You got AI clips now that you
can
clip.
I saw this video on TikTok, and it was saying in the next 10 years, we're not even going to have phones. We're just going to be using like glasses or watches or wearables instead of even having phones.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Well, you got jackets that you could put on, and they could tell your heart rate and stuff like that. Some jackets that even have ports so you could charge your device and stuff like that. Those tech clothing, I don't know if y'all seen them. They even got tech tattoos.
I've seen, they've been doing a lot of the tech clothing, a lot of the the big time sports athlete trainers. The athletes wear those things where they're doing certain things, and the trainers and whatever are monitoring what's going on in their body while they're doing this. It can sense where they're weak and where they're strong and all that other kind of stuff. Besides keeping up with their heart rate and their breathing and all that other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and it can tell how much energy they're exerting when they flex, right? All that other kind of stuff. When they're running, they can monitor how much energy they're burning, all that give them kind of stuff. Like you say, with check clothing. I mean, I was listening to something this morning. I mean, look at they even got sheets now that you can put that's got some sort of silver stuff in them, and it's set to keep your body temperature at the right temperature for a comfortable night's rest. Because if you wake up because it's too cold or wake up because it's too hot, you just had a bad night's rest. So these sheets are supposedly keep you at the perfect temperature for sleeping.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
So, I mean, again, technology is everywhere now. I mean, who knows?
They got pillows that monitor your sleep and all that too.
Yeah, all of that.
The technology is moving. Pretty soon, these technologies is gonna have like AI, maybe not built into them, but connected to them. So be aware of your microphones, guys. Of your microphones, that's gonna be one of the main privacy issues. I have noticed, and I've been noticing because of I've been using the Meta glasses, but I notice, and I think I know why people when they talk and they're and then they get an ad about what objects or things that we're talking about in their timeline. I think I have a theory. Um, it's a little crazy, but I think some of the mics, when you go and do like a voice search within an app, like let's say YouTube, you do a voice search, you're activating their search, not your dictation that's on your phone. You activate your mic to the YouTube app to get all the information you're speaking. After you're done with that, the mic should shut off. After you're done with your search and you continue and you're looking and browsing videos and you play a video, all that mic should be shut off. But I have found my mics haven't shut off. And it happened to me several times. And the way I found out and I was testing is I was saying, hey, Meta, and it wouldn't hear me because my mics are activated. Plus the quality of the video, you could tell a little that the quality, the sound quality was sounding off. And I was like, what's going on? So I was looking at my apps that are open. I got to YouTube. I closed YouTube. Okay. And I was already out of the app YouTube. I was running tests like out of it. So I closed it. My mics, my sound, everything went back to normal. So it was, listen to me, basically having a hot mic. And I was having a full-blown conversation during the video. And let's say you're talking to your wife, girlfriend, or whatever, sister, and you're like, hey, we need some milk and we need some eggs. And then all of a sudden you got a Vaughn's commercial playing in your ad.
Well, I mean, again, and again, that's a newer way to put ads on you. I mean, you know me, I don't do all that extra stuff like you guys do. But just as an example, I was did a Google search for some solar powered generators and stuff like that the other day. Now my YouTube is nothing but, are you still interested in solar powered generators?
Why you went to Google? You should have gone to Bing or you should have gone to another site because you're logged into Google. Now Google makes their money in ads and YouTube is part of Google.
I know. I mean, I did, and that's why, I was making that correlation as well. But like I said, again, 5 out of, let's say, 7 ads are all about solar power generators now.
Wow.
But you should get one though. I mean, after the week you had last week.
He needs. I told him, Brittany, get one of them solar power. What's it called? Chargers, man.
Well, I'm gonna get one like you guys got.
Which one do you have, Pedro? Just out of curiosity.
Guys, it's not even mine. It's my better half, and she made a good purchase on that. She made a great purchase because we live in Earthquake City. We live in Earthquake Town, country, whatever you want to call it. We're on the West Coast. This thing has a solar panel on one side to charge and get the battery pack full again. If you don't have solar, you have a crank wheel. You just get this little thing out. It's like a little lever, and you just spin it, and it starts charging the battery pack. But at Plus, you could charge 2 devices. But at that, it has 4 LEDs in the bottom. So if you need a flashlight, you're good to go. You're good to go. In the night, whatever, if it's a disaster or it's a blackout or whatever, you have your charging station. You have your light station too.
So, all right, y'all. Well, that's the end of the day for us, end of the hour. Always remember, we're going to try to bring you the latest that we can come up with when it takes technology and all that other kind of stuff. We're just trying to bring it to you as we run across it and keep everybody informed. So, hey, don't forget to join us again tomorrow morning. Same time, same channel, all that good stuff. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification, all of that other stuff. It does matter. It does change the algorithm to where we're allowed to be seen in more places and we can spread the word to more and more people. So please take care of all of those little things for us. And we will see you guys again tomorrow.